Welcome back. The playoffs are getting very disrespectful. We have upsets brewing, stars folding, and young dudes taking over. Some of these contenders aren't really looking like contenders. Welcome back to Inside the Arc. You also may catch us on the Hardwood Authority show. And today we're breaking down every playoff series so far, breaking down what's real, what's fake, and what's coming to change. Because I'm telling you right now, some of these series, they're not going how people expected them to. Let's start with the 1-8 matchup in the Eastern Conference, the Pistons versus the Magic. This game served as a reality check for Detroit. Proves they're not invincible. Magic pushed pace all night and forced the Pistons into a tough game 1 loss at home. That cannot happen if the Pistons want to win this series. So now going into game 2, the Pistons must win this game and also still on the road to make this a series. They cannot allow the Magic to come into the Pistons house, to the Pistons crib, take a game and then let the Magic sweep at home. If Paulo Banchero continues to be aggressive and efficient, the Magic can honestly push the Pistons to a 6 or 7 game series. On the Pistons side, they need to improve defensive pressure and pace control in game 2 in order to make this an interesting game. And then on the Magic side, their young team plays fearless, but they do struggle in late game execution. I'm hoping that in game 2, Detroit's size advantage will help them on the rebounding edge. The swing factor is, can Orlando consistently create half court offense? And we can say the same thing for the Pistons. But ultimately, the series is going to come to who's hitting shots at the right times, who's controlling the pace, and who keeps up the defensive pressure all game. Upset is still possible, but I believe Detroit still controls the series. They just have to come back strong and make an impact in games 2 and 3. Next up in the East, we have the 2-7 matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. In game 1, obviously the Boston Celtics had almost a 30-point blowout to the Philadelphia 76ers, but then the Philadelphia 76ers came back in game 2 and responded with a win, which indicates that this series could go to 6 or 7 as well. Maxi's ascension this year has been amazing, and not only in the regular season but also in the playoffs. The way he took control in game 2, him, VJ Edgecombe, and Paul George adding a little points, off besides VJ and Maxi is amazing. Maxi with Embiid out is not just a co-star, but he's also dictating the impact of entire games. The Celtics, just like the year before last where they won the championship and last year, they're going to live and die by the three. When shots are falling, they dominate. When they're not, they struggle a little bit more. For the Celtics side, this falls on Tatum and Brown. They both need to be consistent and not have alternating performances. If they both can perform and they both can play off each other, this gives the Celtics a great chance to win this series in a short amount of time. The same thing about the Celtics can be said about the Sixers. In this series, they have a lot of volume from the 3-point line, and their shot variance has a little struggle in terms of where they're shooting from. Can be a weapon when they're hitting it, but it can also be a risk when they're not hitting their shots. And then for the Celtics side, their bench isn't producing at the rate that they usually do, and that proves that this series can be a seriously volatile one in which can also go 6 or 7. The Cavaliers are up 2-0 on the Toronto Raptors. Donovan Mitchell's in playoff mode, going crazy in both game 1 and game 2, and so is James Harden playing very well as well. The Cavs on the offensive side create separation in runs, create separation in bursts, and then the Toronto Raptors' lack of an elite shot creator makes late game offense a serious concern. And that's where they struggle. Obviously, both teams are very versatile defensively. It's going to be the Raptors' switch heavy system versus the Cavaliers' structure on defense with Mobley and Jared Allen. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, it looks like the bench players for the Cavs are impacting the game a lot more than the Raptors bench players are. And that's one big reason why the Cavs are up in this series, is because they're getting production from both their starters and their bench players. And my last point for this series is that the Raptors need to improve tremendously on their turnover margin. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers look like they are the more polished team, which is why I believe they're going to get this series out of the way in 5 or 6 games. For the Western Conference, we obviously have the 1-8 matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Phoenix Suns. And game 1 was a true blowout fashion where OKC looks like a true number 1 seed. The Thunder's speed and athleticism overwhelmed Phoenix tremendously. The Suns as a team can't string together stops consistently, and a heavy reliance on their stars versus the rest of the role players makes it so where the Suns' offense is super predictable offense. Think OKC sweeps the series because they have the bench contributions, their depth contributions, as well as the Thunder are controlling the pace completely in this series. And I think this writes on the wall that this is going to be an easy 4-0 sweep or gentleman sweep at 4-1 with the Thunder winning over the Phoenix Suns. Next up, we have the Blazers versus the Spurs 2-7 matchup. Um, Unfortunately for the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama did go down early in Game 2 due to a concussion. Looks like that he hasn't been concussion protocols. Fell down on the ground, hit his face really hard. Probably jacked up his teeth. And the Spurs placed him in concussion protocols, which means he's out for at least 48 hours and maybe longer if he still shows symptoms. But with that unfortunate news on the side, the Blazers do have to play who's in front of them, and I have to say the player of the game for sure for game two is Scoot Henderson. They were continuously going under screens for Scoot. He just kept coming through. He was attacking the rim, taking mid range shots, shooting threes, hit a bunch of threes this game, got to the rim a lot, shot a lot of mid range shots, and he was hooping this game, making everything. And I would have to give the player of the game to him. He's the reason that the Blazers were able to come in and steal a game in San Antonio. Shout out to Tiago Splitter for coaching his ass off as well. Another one of the biggest things that makes this series really fun to watch is the fact that the Portland Trailblazers are seriously matching the Spurs' physical, uh, physical style of play. Also, big shout out to Donovan Clingan, man. He had almost over 6 offensive rebounds. I'm pretty sure he had more than that. He was grabbing offensive rebounds, him and Robert Williams, all game. And at the end of the game, we had a closeout. At the end of the game, we had a potential block. And I watched Denny Abdia come through, hit his little signature Euro step, lob it right over the top to Robert Williams for the end. One dunk right at the end of the game to basically ice the game, man. So shout out to the Blazers for stealing the game on the road. Series 1-1. I expect it to go to 7, and I think it can go either way right now, depending on what's going on with Wemby and what's going on with the rest of the Spurs franchise. Next up, we have the 3-6 matchup between the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, the Nuggets won game one, but in game two, in both games, Rudy Gobert is playing his ass off on defense. In game two, especially, man, he's making life hard for Jokic. And they're not doubling that much. They're just playing 1v1 coverage, and Jokic is struggling tremendously. Obviously, Jokic is still the most dominant offensive engine in the league, but he's not performing to what we've seen Jokic perform at, and it's really stifling his ability to help his teammates improve. Along with Gobert, the rules defensive pressure is giving the Nuggets super hard trouble a lot of times in this series. So I have to give a big ups to Coach Finch and also Coach Adelman. They're doing a coach off right now, and it looks amazing. Great basketball. Love to watch it. Think this one goes to, we might see this one go to 6 or 7 because the Nuggets do have that championship DNA, that championship experience versus the Wolves who have gone to the Western Conference once. They do have some experience, but this one ultimately depends. Both teams are taking swings at each other. It's going back and forth. The Nuggets prefer control while the Timberwolves prefer chaos. We'll see what this does. I think it goes 7. It can go either way. And last but not least, obviously, we have to talk about the 4-5 matchup between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. I think it's kind of crazy that in this series, we're seeing a 41-year-old man dominate and control the pace of an entire NBA game. Bend everything to his pace, control the game, play at his speed, and the rest of the Lakers are following suit. I think you see the Lakers with the next man up mentality, with the role players stepping up big with the Luka and AR injuries that are going on with the Lakers. The Rockets, like I said in my previous video, have struggled to not turn the ball over, especially with KD having 9 turnovers in the second game of this series. The Rockets are struggling to turn the ball over, and it's hindering their offensive ability. Then obviously we have the efficiency gap between LeBron and KD in terms of both scoring and setting up for their teammates. KD had 9 turnovers in game two, 20 points in the first half, 3 points in the second half. Man, it's looking bad for KD and his legacy. Hopefully he can step it back up through the rest of the series. It feels like the Lakers are more controlled while the Rockets are more erratic. And I think they need to get that in control. Also, I think that the Rockets need to look into playing faster because right now they're playing right into LeBron and the Lakers and JJ's hands and playing at the slow pace that the Lakers want to play at. And like I said in my previous video, if they play slow and play at the if they play slow and play at the Lakers pace, there's no way in hell the Rockets win this series. So for me, right now I have the Lakers winning this series 4-1. I think that the Lakers are going to steal one on the road in Houston. maybe lose one, and then come back home and close it out at home. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. These playoffs, they're just getting started. We have so much more playoff basketball to watch and enjoy. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Make sure you stay tapped into Inside the Arc X both on YouTube and on TikTok. Also, please be sure to follow our new show. I'm one of the hosts along with my friends Olo Hoops and One Boy Knows Ball, where we talk real basketball every Monday on my TikTok at Inside the Arc X. All links will be on the bio as well as on the screen. Check us out. We're live every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Hardwood Authority Show. All right, you guys. Salute.